Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make your chicken Kiev, and for this you're going to need some butter, breadcrumbs, so you can buy them already breadcrumbed, or you can just wazz up some old bread that you've got in a food processor, a clove of garlic, a chicken breast, 1 egg, some plain flour, sharp knife, chopping board, 2 if you've got to, 1 for your garlic you're going to chop up and 1 for your raw meat. Obviously if not, then you're just going to have to wash up your chopping board and your knife so that we don't do any cross-contamination. A baking tray or baking sheet, and some tin foil or some parchment paper so that we don't get any of our juices in our oven. Make sure you've got an apron on, washed your hands, and you've got all of your equipment out, all your ingredients out and weighed out before you get going. You need to make sure that you've popped your oven on, and that is at 180 degrees. Okay, leave that to warm up before you pop your chicken in. Okay, so it's time to get cooking. First thing you need to do is you're going to pop your butter into a bowl, and if you've got any mixed herbs, you're going to just mix that in to your butter before you do anything. Make sure your butter, if you're using proper butter, is at room temperature, so it's nice and easy to break up. Okay, if you've just got it out of the fridge, it might be a little bit more difficult. You kind of want it not solid. Okay, you need it so you're able to pop it into your chicken. Okay, so you're going to need to get a spoon and just break it up so that you're able to easily mix in your herbs at the second, and then you're going to be able to pop in your garlic once you have cut that up. Okay, so just loosen up your butter a little bit. Okay, if you've got mixed herbs, pop them in now as well. Give that a bit of a stir. We're going to chop up our garlic in a second, but we need to make sure that we have everything out ready. I've popped my breadcrumbs onto a plate. I've popped my flour onto a plate. And if you have a third plate, you can use that, but I've popped my egg into a bowl, if you can see that in there. And then you're just going to mix that up so that it is then broken up and you don't have the egg and the white. So give that a mix up and then just leave that to one side. We're going to chop up our garlic. So make sure you've just got 1 clove of your garlic. Okay, you're going to take the outer skin off of it, so the papery bit, because you don't really want to be eating that. And if you've got a garlic crush, then that is a win, okay, because you can use that to cut up your garlic really, really small, crush it up. If not, you're going to have to cut it. So going to cut both ends off, okay, using our claw grip. And then we're going to cut it up as small as we can. Okay, all the way along. Okay, because we don't really want to be eating massive chunks of garlic inside our chicken. Okay, once you've chopped it up, okay, using your knife, all you're going to do is you're going to push it onto the garlic and then kind of pull it along your chopping board so that it kind of just mushes all down and you don't have big chunks of it. Okay, be careful because your fingers are going to be quite near the blade, okay, and the sharp side, but just try and smush that onto your chopping board so that it then isn't all cut up and big chunks. It's more kind of a paste, if you like. So once you've done that and got that into a bit of a paste, okay, you're just going to scrape it all up. Okay, you can kind of see that it's more of a paste now and not just slices of garlic. You're going to pop that straight into your butter and you're going to give it a mix in. Okay, so I'm just going to, as you can see, my butter's nice and kind of smooth. I'm just going to mix in that garlic. Okay, you might need 2 cloves of garlic, depends how garlicky you like your garlic, if that makes sense. But obviously, if you don't like it that garlicky, just use 1. Once you have mixed that in, again, just leave it to one side and then we're going to get our chicken breast out. But make sure that we've washed our knife, washed our chopping board, because you don't really want our chicken tasting like garlic on the outside. So the next process that needs to happen, or step, is to pop a pocket into our chicken breast. Okay, so we need to start either end, okay, but make sure our chicken breast is kind of long ways. And all you're going to do is you're going to find sort of the fattest part of your chicken. Holding it nice and tightly, you're going to see if you can sort of go halfway down. Okay, pop your knife, the sharp end in, and then you're going to start by making just a slit, okay, from top down to where it kind of starts to go skinny near the end. Okay, so you can see there, I've just popped a little slit in it, okay, so that I can then pop my knife in and I can go into the chicken a little bit deeper, okay, and I can also then see what I'm doing, because I don't want to go in and then down. I want to keep my knife nice and flat, okay, because I don't want to then put a hole in it so then it comes out the bottom. I want to make sure that I go all the way through, and keep it nice and flat, okay, so I can get a good amount of garlic into my chicken, okay, but without putting a hole in the bottom, so that then the garlic butter comes out. Okay, so as you can see, I've put a good old pocket into my chicken, if you can see that, okay, so that I can put a good amount of my garlic butter in there. Okay, so just be careful. Okay, it's a bit like a bit of a dissection almost, okay, but so that I can get some good amount of garlic in there. Okay, be slow, be steady. It's not a race. You don't need to do it really, really quickly. It's more about precision and using your knife skills. Okay, so have a go at doing that. So now that I've got a good pocket in my chicken, I'm going to fill it with my garlic butter. Okay, obviously don't overfill it so that you can't kind of bring your chicken together. Okay, but put a good amount in there. Okay, so you're just going to get your butter with your garlic in it. Okay, and pop it into the chicken. Okay, you are going to have to use your fingers. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, it's not going to hurt you. So pop the garlic butter in there. Try and squeeze it in so it's not poking out too much over your slit in the chicken. Okay, you might need to put a bit more in there if you want to. Use your fingers. Okay, it makes it a little bit easier. So now that I've got a good amount of my garlic butter in there, going to make sure that it closes and it doesn't poke out too much. Perfect. Let's move that out the way and give my hands a bit of a wash. It's now time to do what's called enrobing. So where we go onto where we put our chicken breast in the flour, put it in the egg, and then we cover it in breadcrumbs. So if you pop all of your things out, okay, so it's nice and easy. So we've got flour, egg, and then breadcrumbs at the end, because that's the last thing we want to do. Okay, so just be careful, make sure you don't squeeze all that nice garlic butter out. Pop it into my flour. Okay, so cover it in flour completely. Okay, so cover it all in flour. Make sure you get all of it. Okay, because then we want to then pop it into the egg. We want to make sure that then the egg sticks to this. So give it a little bit of a shake so it's completely covered in the flour, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to pop it in the egg. Okay, so make sure it gets right the way in there. Okay, cover it in the egg. Make sure you don't use any butter as you go. Okay, so it's completely covered in the egg, and then straight into the breadcrumbs. Okay, the easiest thing is to just pop it in and then use your fingers and your hands to put the breadcrumbs over. Okay, so got my chicken breast there. Make sure that I cover it completely with the breadcrumbs so I can't see any of the chicken. Make sure it's all stuck. Okay, if at any point there is chicken poking out, okay, just go back and put a bit more flour, a bit more egg, and then the breadcrumbs over the top. So I'm hoping that is all in there. Okay, so make sure it's all closed up. Chicken is completely covered in the breadcrumbs. Okay, and then you can see my chicken is ready to go in the oven. So I'm going to pop it onto my baking tray. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure my hands are washed, because I'm sure your parents won't want breadcrumby fingers all over your oven. So pop it on your baking tray, wash your hands, and then you're going to pop it into your oven, hopefully that is heated up, for about 20 minutes. Okay, at 20 minutes, we're going to make sure we check it. If you've got your food probe, temperature probe, perfect. Remember, it needs to be 175 degrees. If you don't have a food probe, remember that you can just get it out of the oven, cut it, okay, which is a bit of a shame if you do have to cut it, because all that sort of garlic juice will come out, but you still need to check the fattest bit. You can just slice into it slightly and make sure it is white all the way through. Okay, have a go at that and we'll have a look at the end. I've just got my chicken Kiev out of the oven and it took about 25 minutes. Okay, I have cut it in the center and it is pink, it's not pink. Okay, it's white all the way through, which is fantastic. You can see that it's a nice golden colour around the outside, which is what you want to see. Okay, and some of the garlic butter has oozed out, which is fantastic. So it has come out a little bit, which is absolutely okay. But it smells delicious. I'm going to have a go and see what it tastes like. Make sure that you have a go, and once you have cooked it, okay, send it to me so I can have a look. Hope you enjoy.